Hey everyone, welcome back to John Pokemon, the only channel whose creator is still lying to you about their actual name. There are 30 different starter Pokemon across all of Pokemon, 29 if you don't count the best Pokemon in the world, which I don't. But only one of them stands out among all of them. Why? Because it's my favorite. Hisuian Typhlosion. It's a regional variant of Generation 2's standard Typhlosion, and it is my favorite, but it isn't really that popular. However, I think it is one of the best starter Pokemon that there are, and today I'm going to try and prove that to you. Now, I can't argue that it is the best, because, again, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Primarina are the three best starters, and trying to prove that they are worse than this thing is impossible. But what I can do is prove that it is at least up there. I will be covering this in 3 specific topics: viability, results, and then counter-arguments. Starting off with viability, Hisuian Typhlosion stats are okay. There are way better spreads, but it accomplishes what it needs to. What it does have is a very high special attack and pretty okay speed. These are very important, I will discuss them in a second. The ability that's most used is Blaze, which is, in all honesty, pretty bad. But it can be useful in select scenarios. For example, if a Pokemon were to hit Typhlosion but not kill it, it gets a very powerful buff on its fire-type attacks. Speaking of, this is where it gets good. Typing. Fire and Ghost are very, very good together, both defensively and offensively. You get same-type attack bonuses on very powerful moves, along with very specific immunities to things like Fake Out and other fighting type and normal type attacks, and you get a lot of really good resistances. And movesets make this Pokemon even better. It learns both Eruption and Heat Wave, both very powerful fire type attack moves that hit both enemy Pokemon. Eruption especially is powerful because it scales with Pokemon health and the Pokemon attacking special attack. That's where the very strong special attack comes in. But a lot of people would say, the speed is not that high on Typhlosion. It can be outsped and then hit really hard, so the eruption gets really weak. To that I say, Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf, according to Bulbapedia, one of the best sources of information on Pokemon, it boosts speed by 50%, but limits Pokemon to the first move that they use when they're switched out, which is perfectly fine on frail Pokemon that are built to spray attacks and deal crazy damage on Pokemon really, really quickly, which is Typhlosion's entire appeal. And Choice Scarf makes Typhlosion that much faster than most Pokemon, and also, it's really, really good. It makes it a very reliable sweeper that doesn't need too many boosts or safeguards to actually use effectively. The next topic is its results. Now, trying to compare any amount of results to something like Rillaboom or Incineroar is like night and day, and most starters have very, very poor results in general. Hisuian Typhlosion is not like most starters. According to Limitless VGC, a community-built and supported database of almost anything competitive Pokemon, Hisuian Typhlosion has had 5 competitive spots on top 5, including 1 first place and 3 second place regional championship wins, along with, again, 3 second place championships. A lot of starter type Pokemon can't comprehend that, let alone come any close to it. Next topic is counter-arguments. There are a lot of counter-arguments for saying that this Pokemon is one of the best starters, and some have more credence than others. Firstly, a very big one is that there are 29 other starters. How can Typhlosion be one of the good ones? To that I say, go back like 30 seconds and re-listen to the results. Another big one is frailty, which in all honesty is a pretty fair one. With that being said, the main niche of Hisuian Typhlosion is to get in, deal really, really big damage, and either get out or go down, after ravaging the entire enemy team. Not only that, but having immunity to normal type and fighting type moves like Fake Out, along with having teams that can have support moves like, trying to remember certain moves, but there are really good ones. They can prevent Typhlosion's death very well. Follow Me is a good example of a Pokemon move that can really protect Typhlosion in times of peril. And finally, one of the biggest counter arguments to why Typhlosion might not be good is that it's really hard to get. It's only in 2 Pokemon games, being Legends Arceus, which is widely considered a spin-off and optional, and Pokemon Go, something that most people wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, myself included. And to that I do say, yeah, that is a very fair point. Getting your hands on a Hisuian Typhlosion can be really, really hard, and to some people might not be justifiable. But in my opinion, a Pokemon being hard to obtain doesn't make it worse, it just makes it harder to obtain. It shouldn't really affect things to me. Besides, you can also just, trade for it. Anywho, in conclusion, Hisuian Typhlosion is a very, very powerful Pokemon, that much can be said, that does fulfill a niche that not a lot of Pokemon can fill. Its strength, along with its different utilities, make it a very valuable member on certain teams. And while it may not come close to Incineroar, it sure is a great Pokemon, and I do hope that I proved that to you at least somewhat today. If you're still curious on Hisuian Typhlosion and want a visual example of it in action, one of my favorite Pokemon channels, or YouTube channels in general, and the champion of Pokemon in the entire world, Wolf Glick, on his channel, he made a video, Wolf VGC, or Wolfie VGC, I should say, is his channel. He made an entire, 2-3 hour long video on Hisuian Typhlosion, and it explains everything way better than I possibly could. And of course, never forget that Gumi is the best Pokemon, no matter what Limitless VGC tells you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a fantastic rest of your day.